Hello, wonderful people. I have a video today called Lay on Hands for the Soul. So, when I first started this channel many years ago, when I had that first creative spark about making these videos, but then, you know, these all these disempowering beliefs and all the things I had to work through came to the surface. I applaud my former, not former self, my younger self for taking some action. Um, I know I had to I just didn't know. I was just at the beginning of my journey towards self-love, and I do know it's a never-ending journey, but I have come a long way since then. I do feel ready to talk more and more about this healing journey. And when I did start that, I was actually a cleric in D&D. I was a life cleric, also Kahiro. Now see, this is a different, parallel universe, because I love all just holy warriors, and I wasn't really sure what is the difference between a cleric and a paladin. Um, and well, the clerics are they're like full on support, and they when I was playing, I didn't really use my weapon at all, so they're really just you know they can be good, they can be versatile, depends on you. I'm getting ahead of myself. But anyway, they don't have lay on hands. Paladins have lay on hands. So it's healing. All right, these are healing words for the soul. These are for the people that are in the trenches or they feel like they just need another boost. All right. When I say in the trenches, I mean when you're deep down into this self-loathing, self-berating. Um, and I remember especially being a teenager and um, like in high school, I would just put on. I listened to hours of Abraham Hicks. It was just like oxygen, honestly, because it just felt like my vibe was so low. I could see how like all the stress from school, from home, really like it was a lot for one guy. But even I had days where even those podcast or those videos couldn't help because I was just in the thick of it. But still, maybe subconsciously they still help. I mean, they helped, but like some days, you know how it is. But if you're in the trenches, um, I'll start with like a little joke. So um, when I was on this healing journey, I'm sorry, I am still on this healing journey, but going back to what I said, being a teenager, I remember that's when I did discover Abraham Hicks around like 14, and um, my ex best friend. He was the one that called me Dark Monkey all the time. It was one of the final sleepovers. Actually, I think the last sleepover he had in my house. And I don't remember what we were talking about, but I remember like, oh, I feel like I'm starting to love myself more. And he's like, that's gay. I'm like, fellas, is it gay to breathe? Love, like this self love is like the air we breathe. And I can hear the voices now because I heard the voices about like love for the self. It could be like, narcissistic or selfish. But this is the thing, guys. Like, you can love yourself and look at everyone as equals, right? Because we're all creations of God, right? Of the Holy Spirit. Everyone has the divine spark inside of them. So no one is better or worse than you, even if it seems like in form. But remember, love holds no comparisons. Love holds no comparisons, right? Like I'm talking about the actual self-love, the one that like looks at you with this divine love, these eyes of source. I had this thought when I was actually dog sitting um, one of my friend's dogs, and he was just sleeping on the couch, and I just looked at him with so much love. I'm like, is this how God looks at His creations? It's like no matter what he's doing, he's sleeping, he's walking. You just love him, right? And it's about turning that love towards yourself because I've had the opposite, right? These eyes of contempt, and it's such a stressful, like heavy existence to be in, right? And I understand when when we're in the trenches and we're going to rumination, just focusing over and over again about what's going wrong, what's wrong with us. But what I've been learning now is not to ask like what is wrong with us, like what happened to you. This is from Dr. Matei, I believe his name is. But I also heard this from other videos, but I think it's a great way to flip it, right? Because when we ask a lofty question, oh, what's wrong with me? Well, we'll get answers. We'll sure get answers. But if we look at it through the eyes of curiosity, like, what's going on? What happened? That is when healing can actually begin, right? And this is what, for me, it helped me discover that I was emotionally neglected by my parents. And that created like this huge wound inside my soul that I was trying to fill up. Um, so when we have these more of a curious way, we can actually get to the source. Because what I was doing in form, right? I thought, oh, the problem is my weight. I'm going to try losing weight. I lost weight. Still, I feel this pain. It was about really getting at the source of the problem, right? And the thing about self-love, right? Because if we lack it, we're gonna put ourselves in the toxic, negative situations, just like I did, right? I suffered through marching band, and I'm gonna bring it up because I because marching band is just like a symbol. Because like how many people, I maybe this is you, like you put yourself in a situation where you feel like you have no escape, but deep down you put yourself in that situation. Not saying this out of guilt, but about like, oh wow, like these, because if I really love myself, I wouldn't be in this situation. Right? If I really, really, really love myself, I took care of myself and I said, I don't, this is what I'm saying, guys, because I did it, right? That level of consciousness, I put myself 4 years of marching band. Me, me, right? Okay, it's this is a very important time of your life, right? Being a teenager, like 14 to 18, and I I spent it, doing something I didn't want to do. And there was lessons in that, um, but yeah, and there was other ways like with my studies. I felt like that was my next marching band. Like, oh frick, I'm in marching band again. I really said I can't escape it, right? And if you're in this situation, it's about radical acceptance. Radical acceptance. If you can get out of it, you know, get out of it. If you can't, like I didn't want to just drop out. Having the empowering narrative, I will push through and I will get stronger because of this, right? That is self-love, right? Because the opposite, what I would do is like, oh, I'm in the marching band again. I'm in university. Oh, fuck everything. Oh, do you hear that? I did. I had that because I looked at myself through the eyes of contempt. Like, you're bad. I can't believe this. You're stuck in the same situation. It's like, you're inside a hole and you're just gonna keep digging that hole deeper. This is self-sabotage, right? This is self-sabotage. And what I would do is, like, when I would see it self-sabotaging like that or through any negative behavior, I would even toxic shame myself deeper and deeper into this spiral. There's almost some part of me, I think, like there's like brain chemistry that like I even liked feeling down because it was so normal for me, right? My brain chemistry was wired to feel down, right? But we have no new science now of neuroplasticity that our brains can actually they change all the time. It's not like when you're 25 it stops. No, they're changing all the time. You can rewire yourself, right? Believe it, guys. Believe it. All right. Um, okay, exactly. What's also good is gratitude, but actual gratitude. This is what I wrote down. It's not what you think you should be grateful for. This is something that I had to work on because I'd feel guilty. I'd say like I'm grateful for my VR headset more than my brother. Not like at every time. Do you know what I mean? Like if I'm feeling gratitude for something at the moment, I don't put it like, or I say, oh, I should be grateful for my family, even though at this moment I didn't feel grateful for my family. It's about what are you actually grateful for? It could be the games, or like for me, like this amazing computer I have, my VR treadmill. All right. Um, when it actually gives the feeling of gratitude. Like we're looking for the feeling state. And I think, uh, I don't know if I'm just talking to a wall, but I think people have gone through it because when I would try to make a gratitude list and I'd write things like I feel like I should be like, oh, my brother, oh, mama, tata, even though I'm like not really feeling grateful at the moment. It's not getting the feeling state, right? It's all about that feeling state, right? To help us, um, I wouldn't say get out because like um, what I feel is good to what I was in the trenches is to let yourself fully feel those emotions for like 15 minutes, but put it like a time budget, right? Because what I would do is like ignore it or try to like um, replace it, right? Instead of just letting them go through your body and actually experiencing it, right? Because but putting a time budget because I feel it can go into rumination if you're like you feel put like I'm gonna take 15 minutes just to feel these emotions, and then I'm going to work on healing and getting out of it, right? Because if you're trying to like fight it or like just try to force yourself to be happy, that doesn't work. Not for me. Okay. Oh, what I wrote down: take 100 times better of yourself than you think. Right. Um, I think especially as men, um, like self care. This is what this is my consciousness. Like it's like what are you like well, my friend ex best friend like what are you gay? Are you gay? You're gonna like taking care of yourself. That's like toxic masculinity. Like psh, what are we here to just to suffer? No. um, when I say 100 times more, it's because when I was talking to when I would have my healthy gamer sessions, like most of us, all of us would be like, "Oh, I don't deserve rest. I don't deserve to take care of myself. Like, well, I need to be hustling all the time. I need to be productive all the time." I think this is also ingrained as like, "Oh, men are providers. You gotta hustle." It's like it's all made up stuff, guys. It's all made up. If we grew up in a culture where it was um, accepted to have a work like an actual balance between work and play, it'd be fine, right? But we have this extreme culture of like you gotta hustle, you gotta grind, you can't, you work 10-hour shifts, don't see your children, like that kind of stuff. And we can believe it, right? Your beliefs do create your reality. Or you can say, no thanks, no thanks, because when I actually started taking care of myself and be like, what does Kahir want to do? Like, all right, Kahir wants to be productive. Sure, he wants to be productive. Like, of course, I want to be productive, but I want divine rest. I want to feel good. I want to feel satisfied. I want to have fun. And what's been guiding me, yes, has been playing Halo because I love Halo, and there was actually resistance to it because I don't know. There's something maybe with this dopamine system, but like since what I used to do was just watch lots of YouTube to try to rest, but it's such a shallow rest. It's not really getting at the core. It's I like putting a band-aid on like a wound, like a gaping wound, and my dopamine receptors are like, oh, I don't know. It's not like instant gratification, but when I said I'm gonna just play for half an hour, let's see where it goes. That's when the longer play sessions happen because you break through that barrier. I think a lot, maybe other older gamers. um, yeah, I'm 30. That's not old, but so like these, taking that time to actually, sit down and carve some time for yourself. Something I had to work on, and I'm still working on, but it's been paying off because I don't feel burnt out all the time. Also, um, this I think I have something from childhood. Like, yeah, I'd be like shamed or like, oh, like why didn't you do this? Oh, you're resting. I think many like first generation families, immigrants had that, like where you can't just be sitting down or just having fun. But since we're in adult bodies now, we can carve out the time the way we want to, more or less. If you have different circumstances, I understand. But even like I said, like half an hour, 1 hour, and then whatever you can, you're showing yourself, I love myself. I'm taking care of myself. You know what I mean? Because if you don't do it, like what I did, because I had this lifestyle of, especially in the beginning when I started, uh, like my first job, right, like teaching English, I would go all different places in Warsaw, and like in the evenings, right? Because a lot of people have just evening lessons, and even for one lesson, guys, this is like I had no concept of taking care of myself. This is I would go to like 90 minutes to 2 hours from my house to teach one lesson, and I was making really bad money in my first job. I was making 18 zloty. It's really bad. I don't know how much it's in dollars. Less than $5. I'm just like, this is, I guess, Poland. No, it's not. They were just taking advantage of me. I had a student actually when I was teaching her privately, and she said she was like a teenager, and she had a part-time job, like sending, like giving out flyers. I'm like, how much are you making? And she's like, oh, 20 zloty. Like, I'm teaching her English with like a very actual skill that is improving her life, and she's making more than me by like, giving flyers. You see, like since I didn't love myself and I didn't take care of myself, I accepted like shady jobs like that, and I tolerated giving away so much time, commuting, coming home like really late, like at 9 or 10, so I wouldn't have any time for myself, eh, for really, really, really bad money that wouldn't even barely add it up to anything, right? But like, oh, it's for the experience. It's for the experience. Come on. And I have so much compassion for my younger self now. It's just like I didn't realize, like, man, he was going through a lot. He was going through so much with a very little support. But now, yeah, since I do have a support network, Healthy Gamer, and like really amazing friends, it's it gets so much easier. But like I know how it feels like to be alone, guys. That's what I'm saying. Alone, unsupported. Even though we are always supported by the by the divine. Right? Even if we don't feel like it, that's the key. We are always being supported, even if we don't feel like it. It just takes a little willingness to take steps towards it. Right? I was unconscious, right? I was unconscious. I just thought that's how life is, but it doesn't have to be that way. All right. Yes. So give yourself that time, guys. Please, please, please give yourself that time. I understand the way we were raised. That rest is, you don't get money by resting. Take care of yourself. Take 100 times more than you think you need to, right? We are these divine beings and we deserve so much more. We deserve so much more, right? What's also been helping me, replacing the word should with I want to. This is also from Pete Walker's book about CPTSD. That, and I had to work on this so much during Healthy Gamer. I would say should constantly. I should do this. I should do that. I should do this. Oh, it was like a weight on my shoulders, and I have a lot of tension and trauma, I think, stored in my shoulders. And what he said, unless you're under any legal or moral authority, drop the word should with or replace it with I want to. I want to. And that it's been so liberating because like every should, it's just if there's so much stress attached to it, right? Like and using discernment under legal or moral authority, right? Because I guess there are things like you should do, like, of course you should take care of your children, things like that, right? Which is you're under legal or moral obligation, right? But there's a lot of things I feel like I said I should do where I didn't have to, right? I didn't have to say that, right? Even like making videos, they used to be like, oh, I should make a video instead of like, I really want to make a video. Like I have been doing now. I think I posted like all week, right? Because I really want to do this. I don't feel like I should do it. And really, it's liberating. And I feel the system has installed in us this obligation for should. Like I'm a man. I should be hustling. I should be grinding. Says who, man? Says who? Right? I know there's going to be a lot of resistance about it, but well, that's just a sign for me and maybe for you to work on a little bit if you want to. Right? There are no shits. All right. Be kind to yourself. Kinder than you think. Kinder than you think. All right. This is the same thing with taking care of yourself 100 times better than you think you. Because I was the opposite, guys. And if you're listening to this, I think you might have dealt with the same, where we're super, super unkind to ourselves, right? And then it leads to these toxic situations, toxic relationships. Um, just like how how you treat a pet shows you how you treat others. Like I went in the beginning of when I saw Lulu, that was the dog's name. Like Lulu just sleeping on the couch, loving him unconditionally. You know, that's the way I want to look at myself, and I have been, and I want you guys to look at yourself, right? These divine creations. And I know when we're in the trenches, we can like anything can set us off. Right? Like, oh, I spilled something. I'm such a klutz. It's like, all right. There's a lot of anger coming up, but because I know how unfair it is, guys. But you have to end the war yourself, right? And just catching when I'm being unkind to myself, and just like, you know what, let's change that. Be like, I spilled a drink. I'm just gonna, you know, wipe it down. Be like, it's fine, nothing happened. And if I have to repeat that 10 times, I will. That's what I mean. Like really, like not you. You are much too tolerant of your mind wandering, right? That's what the course says, right? You're much too tolerant of your mind wandering, something like that, or your mind's miscreations, right? We're too tolerant of it. We're too tolerant of these unkind words. Not even one unkind word. Why? Why? We're unconditional self love and regard. Unconditional love. Unconditional love. This is how the Creator looks at us, and I would like you and myself to look at like all like unconditional 100% of the time, because we give away, like I used to give away my peace so much, right? Like in school, like, oh, I didn't turn the homework assignment on time, or oh, recently, I don't know, like, my finances aren't the way I want it to be. How's it gonna help you? Not accepting yourself. You think, oh, if I'm gonna be mean to myself, I'm going to not accept myself. I'm going to fix myself. No, because that if you say I'm going to fix that myself, that implies you're broken. You're not broken. You're not. You are not broken. No matter what is happening in your life, no matter what is happening in your life, this is unconditional love. Unconditional love. It doesn't mean I get to abandon you 1% of the time, or even 0.001% of the time. No, I never abandon myself. Never. This is true unconditional love. Right? And being unkind to yourself in any form is a form of self-abandonment. Right? I actually watched this a video. It was like Hassan Minaj. Sorry, hard to pronounce that name, but he was saying how he was berating himself for being late or something, or late, or knowing he didn't do something for his wife. I understand that voice because it was instilled in us since we were very young, right? To I don't know. It's good, right? We value it. It's good. It's good. If I didn't have this, I'd be a bad husband, right? If I didn't berate myself. No, you're wrong. You're wrong, right? Because the cycle will continue. The cycle will continue, right? Unless we can, of course, take responsibility and say, oh, I took an action that is unpreferred. I will take a different action next time. But you're only hurting yourself when you abandon yourself. I wish someone told me this, you know. I wish I was raised in this way, like not to abandon myself, but I'm here now. I want to save you guys time, right? Save yourself this pain and suffering that I went through, right? It's all in the mind, all in the mind, right? Because everything is inherently neutral. Everything is inherently neutral, right? It is a story we tell ourselves, right? Like for example, when I'm also there's nervous system deep stuff like I said about the spilled drink because I think Pete Walker even said like this is linked with emotionally immature parents. Like a small mistake is blown up. You know, like if I spilled something, I'm like Kakir, oh, I used to shake you, you know, like oh you're a dork monkey is, and like the nervous system acts up, right? But also having compassion, understanding, oh my nervous system is acting the way it was programmed to react. Let's reprogram it. That's empowering. That's just like, oh, my nervous system is no, everything can be healed. even your nervous system, the way the emotions you feel. It'll take time, it takes action, but it can, right? It's a possibility. All right, when I said yes, infinite unconditional love, unconditional self-regard. All right, even if you screw up, that's yes. This is something I really need to hear, right? Because actually, when you screw up or you make a mistake or you feel like you made a mistake and you want to abandon yourself, that's actually a call to love, right? That's what the Course says about all sin is a call for love or a lack of love, right? So, and then that's when we're abandoning ourselves. That's the time you're like, look yourself in the mirror, or not literally, but like, I will not abandon myself now more than ever. This is the time, right? Because it's easy to love yourself when things are going well, right? But can you love yourself when you're in the trenches? That's the key, right? Because I'd be like, "No, I can love myself, yeah, most of the time, but if act out of line, I'm going to whip myself into shape, right? That's parenting consciousness, right? Behavioralism, right? I think it's kind of maybe unavoidable how we raise children, right? We have to reward good behavior, punish bad behavior. I understand, but but now I don't want to be treated like that, right? It was because I would punish myself way more than I think I deserved. I don't think like punishing the self. Does anyone deserve that? No, not yourself, right? Like put yourself in a timeout. Um, you'd find it like that's what self abandonment was like groveling, putting myself in a timeout. But you can look at something. Oh, I did something unpreferred. What? Oh, why do you think I did that? What need was there that I wasn't giving myself? Hmm. Let's try something else next time. That's actual change, right? Because this self abandonment, toxic shame is just a cycle. It's just a cycle. That's why I'm making these videos to help you get out of that cycle, guys. The Course says love is the answer. Love is the answer. I know it can be a platitude, but honestly, apply it. Apply it and see. I've been applying it, and I see it. Also inform. There's great things like my improv group is really taking off. Mixed Nuts. You can like us on social media. But it's not really about that. It's about like the inner joy, the inner peace I feel now. Like I took the actual journey, what the Course says, from the mind to the heart, and I feel my heart is open. It's been more open than it's ever been, right? Because I feel for you guys. I feel for you because I was there. I was right in the trenches with you. I was for so many years, and I wanted so desperately to get out, right? And I know this is a never-ending journey, but I know that the biggest one was the lesson to never abandon myself. I'll make this video 10 times over if I have to, but it's just somewhere down the line we learned to abandon ourselves, right? Even Hassan, right? He's this really successful guy, but he abandoned himself because like, oh, I need to whip myself. I was late for a meeting. Like, come on. Our peace is paramount. Your peace is paramount, right? And we've been taught to give away our peace so easily. I'll give you guys a memory. Like, we went to the Museum of Science and Industry, and I got like a cup for a memento. I could bring myself back to Poland. And I guess it was not microwavable, and I put it in the microwave for some reason. And then Mama came in, and like she was like, "Ah, you can't microwave it!" You know. Yeah, I was an adult at the time, and I used to think, oh, it's justified. I made a mistake. I'm the bad boy. I should know. I should know. It's- Can you look at yourself differently and be like, oh, oh, I can't microwave this. Oops, nothing happened. Nothing happened, right? And even if something did happen, if it broke, like nothing happened. Nothing happened, right? It's your peace, right? Keep your peace. And this is something um, I wish I knew, right? With this people-pleasing tendencies, right? That other people's peace, other people's emotions are more important than mine. No, no. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your peace. Oh, and I could, I want to address the voices that like resist this, because I've been told like, oh, like this is airy fairy. I'm a realist, right? I'm not a pessimist. I'm a realist. That's what my ex-friend. Um, may I, can I? May I could use his name, not like his full name, but let's call him Tio. That's the nickname we had, Tio. That's what Tio used to say. I'm a realist. Right, but of course he was just a kid. I hope he's doing better now. But um, yeah, it's like a realist. But I'm like, a realist don't know reality. They don't know reality. Okay, because I understand when we're raised in this system, like going to school, going to university, getting a job, all this stuff, and we feel like this is just the world. This is the world we live in. But now science is catching up with this like quantum entanglement, or if you heard like the double slit experiment, where waves unobserved are like possibilities, right? They're just waves, but when a scientist observe them, um, they become they become something else. I need to look that up really quick. What is it? So I think they're like waves and photons. Um, yes, when the particles like lights or electrons act as waves unobserved, but as particles when observed, yes. So it literally shows observation changes reality. And do you learn that in school? That observation changes reality? Like, um, like this being in this quantum field, right, of infinite possibilities. That is the true reality. And I'm going to see if I need to learn more how to um, express this, because it can be very calming for the logical mind as well to know like there's science behind it, or not. For me it's like 10%. Like I had to go through that barrier as well, because like, my parents would be like, get real. What is reality? What is reality, guys? All right. And ending at this note, right? And for the double slit experiment, how observation changes reality. So how do you want to observe yourself? Through the eyes of contempt or through the eyes of love? Right? Because you'll get it. You'll get it, right? Because when I looked at myself through the eyes of contempt, I would see that reality. I'm like, I'd see a contemptuous being, the illusory self, right? But you look at through the eyes of love, you see that love, and then that love, you naturally feel you want to take more action, but action like divine action that's more in alignment to your soul purpose, like these videos, or the creation of mixed nuts, like a passion, right? Not saying I have everything yet, but what I really, really strived for so long to love myself. And I feel, no, I have it now. I have it. I've always had it, right? It was just like the sun. The sun is always there, it's just the clouds, right? What the Course says, to remove the barriers of love. And I removed so many, so many. And anything that's coming up, that comes up and resists that love, I work on it. I say, oh, okay, I have a block to love. Let's work on it. Yes, so look at yourself through the eyes of love, through the eyes of Source, through the eyes of the Holy Spirit. More times than you think you need to, all the time, as much as you can, right? Catch yourself when you're going down to the trenches and say, I I am as perfect as God created me. I am as perfect as God created me. I am as perfect as God created me. All right, so much of our suffering is unnecessary, guys. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. All right, take care, guys.